Okay, picture this. It's the middle of winter, it's dark and cold, and you hear a knock on your door. You look through the people, and there's a horse's skull staring right back at you.
Yeah, that haunting image. It's actually at the very heart of one of Wales's strangest and, honestly, most captivating folk traditions. So what in the world is going on here? Well, what you're seeing is the Mari Lwyd. It's this incredible figure that shows up sometime between Christmas and New Year's, and it's supposed to bring this, well, this really unique mix of mischief and good luck. So yeah, let's get right into it. All right, so first things first, let's really break down what makes this creature so, well, so unforgettable. The whole effect is it's meant to be unsettling, for sure. So at the very center of it all, you have a real horse's skull. It's stuck on a long pole, and the person carrying it is totally hidden under this big, ghostly white sheet. The eyes are often just bits of glass, maybe the bottoms of old bottles, but then its mane is all decorated with bright, colorful ribbons, holly, and ivy. And the best part? It's got this hinged jaw that's designed to snap shut with a super loud clack. It's just this amazing contradiction, right? A literal skeleton, a symbol of death, but it's all dressed up for a party.
So, okay, this thing shows up at your door. What happens next? I mean, it's not just about standing there and looking scary. It's all about the performance. The whole thing is basically this big, ritualized performance. So the Mari Lwyd and her crew, they'll come up to a house or a pub, and they'll start singing, asking to be let inside. And that's what kicks off the main event, something called the Pwonko. It's basically a battle of wits with whoever's inside. If the Mari's team wins this poetic fight, they get to come in. Once they're inside, the Mari runs around causing all sorts of harmless trouble, and the whole party gets food and drinks. But you gotta remember, it's that battle, the Pwonko, that's the absolute heart of the whole thing. Honestly, the best way to think about the Pwonko is like a poetic rap battle. Seriously, it's this back and forth of totally improvised, rhyming insults and clever challenges, and it's all sung right through the closed door. You've got the two sides just trading these witty and a lot of the time pretty rude verses. The whole goal for the Mari's team is to outrhyme and outsmart their way into the house. So it might start off pretty politely, with an almost innocent-sounding verse like this one. Well, here we come, innocent friends, to ask leave to sing. But don't be fooled. From there, the people inside the house have to fire back with their own improvised verse. And just like that, the duel is on. If you win, you get in. And here's the kicker. Letting the Mari inside was supposed to bring good luck to your house for the whole next year. Okay, so where in the world did a tradition this strange even come from? Well, that's a really fascinating mystery. And the first clue is right there in the name. Even the name Mari Lwyd is up for debate. The most common translation is Grey Mare, which ties it into some really cool Celtic mythology. In those old stories, pale or gray horses were seen as these special creatures that could cross between our world and the underworld, kind of like guides for souls. But there's another theory, that it means Holy Mary. This version connects it to a Christian story about a horse being kicked out of a stable when Jesus was born. So you see this split right away. Is this a pre-Christian, pagan thing, or is it part of a forgotten Christmas story? And believe me, the debate goes way deeper than that. And what's really interesting here is how the thinking on this has changed over time. For ages, that pagan survival theory was the big one. And you can see why, right? It's really romantic, this idea of a connection to ancient Celtic festivals. But modern historians lean more towards the post-medieval idea. And the big reason why is that there are just no records of the Mari Lwyd from that earlier period. None. That suggests it probably popped up sometime in the 1700s, right alongside other similar hooded animal customs in Britain. And it probably served a really practical purpose, It was a way to go around and ask for food and drink when winter got really tough. Now, like a lot of these old folk customs, the Mari Lwyd came this close to disappearing completely. Its whole journey from being nearly extinct to being revived, that's a pretty incredible story on its own. And it really has been a roller coaster. So we first see it documented around 1800. But pretty quickly, by the mid-1800s, it starts facing some serious pushback. In 1852, you've got this guy, Reverend William Roberts, who just goes off on it, calling it a pagan and barbaric folly. And his view really took hold. By the 1930s, the whole tradition was almost dead, just hanging on in a couple of villages. Then, jump forward to the 1960s, and you get this cultural revival, driven by people who wanted to bring these old traditions back. And now,
Today, it's absolutely thriving all across Wales. And here's the most amazing, ironic twist in the whole story. Remember that Reverend Roberts, the guy who tried to kill it? Well, in his book where he's condemning the Mari Lwyd, he carefully wrote down 20 verses of its songs. He did it so people would know what to listen for and, avoid it. But what he actually did, completely by accident, was create an archive. He preserved the very tradition he was trying to destroy, handing it on a silver platter to the people who would bring it back to life 100 years later. You can't make this stuff up.
So here we are. After coming back from the brink of extinction, the Mari Lwyd is probably more visible now than ever before, which leads to the big question, right? Why does this strange, skeletal horse still have such a hold on us?
I think when you get right down to it, the Mari Lwyd is what you'd call a liminal figure. It exists on the boundaries, on the threshold. It's the line between inside and out, between life and death, even between joy and terror. It marks that transition from the old year to the new. It kind of represents our need to face the dark, scary parts of winter head on, to literally invite a symbol of death into our warm homes so that we can find community and light and the promise that spring is going to come again.
And maybe that's its real, enduring power. The whole tradition leaves you with this one big question. Why, in this modern, rational world of ours, do we still feel this pull to open our door for a winter monster? I guess it just reminds us that sometimes you have to let a little bit of chaos, a little bit of mystery, come inside to really, truly welcome the new year.